Fiat 500c review. Just when you thought the Fiat 500 couldn't get any cuter, along comes this 500c cabriolet version to make you think again. For reasons of historical accuracy, ease of use and, no doubt, expediency, the 500c is not a full cabriolet in the conventional sense where the entire top of the car can be folded away out of sight. Indeed, rival manufacturers may have sniffed that it's just a big sunroof, not a proper convertible, but judging by the DS3, Citroën and Peugeot following suit, there must be some logic to this apparent madness. Rather more likely to dent its chances of becoming as wildly popular as its hyper-achieving tin-top sister is Fiat's decision to charge a bigger premium for its convertible than Mini does. As we shall see, a rollback roof isn't quite all you get for the extra money, but with even entry-level cars being rather costly, the breadth of customers both able and inclined to buy one will naturally be somewhat reduced. The Fiat has been facelifted since we first tested the 500c, but fear not, the recipe hasn't been tampered all that much, with revised lighting, bumpers and streamlined trim levels chief among the changes witnessed. It is easy to become bogged down in an is it or is it not a convertible argument with the 500c. On the one hand, the roof opens as far as any normal convertible, on the other, the Fiat retains its B-pillars, door frames and immobile rear-side windows, so you cannot possibly ever feel as truly exposed to the elements as you would in a normal convertible. Then again, in this approach there are advantages to the owner in terms of torsional rigidity, reduced weight gain and the maintenance of the original's gorgeous lines and, to Fiat, doubtless a massive cost saving. The good news is that, unlike conventional convertibles, the 500c's weight has not ballooned by a substantial three-figure number of kilos. Even with its additional cross-bracing it's a mere 40 kilograms heavier, providing the hope of all but unaffected performance and economy, while Fiat already claims its CO2 output is near identical to that of the standard car. The other substantial change to the 500c sits unseen between the rear wheels, where an anti-roll bar has now been fitted. This is a modification first seen on the Ford Ka, whose platform it shares with the 500, and follows the widespread view that Ford achieved a somewhat more optimal ride, handling balance than Fiat. Fiat does not say whether the 500c also inherits the Ka's softer rear springs, but such is the change in its dynamic behavior that we would be surprised if it does not. The midlife facelift saw Fiat reluctant to tamper too much with its winning formula, and as a result kept changes to the exterior to a minimum with restyled lights and bumpers leading the way, while the engine lineup lost the diesel unit which punctuated their relaunched 500's range. So now Fiat's retro throwback returns to petrol power the way it should be. Introduction, design and styling, interior, performance, ride and handling, MPG and running costs, verdict, prices and specs. Fiat 500, Fiat 500c rear, Fiat 500c badging, Fiat 500c interior, Fiat 500c dashboard, Fiat 500c instrument cluster, Fiat 500c multimedia ports, Fiat 500c rear seats, Fiat 500c boot space, Fiat 500c side profile, Fiat 500c cornering, 4-star, Fiat 500c. Fiat 500, Fiat 500c rear, Fiat 500c badging, Fiat 500c interior, Fiat 500c dashboard, Fiat 500c instrument cluster, Fiat 500c multimedia ports, Fiat 500c rear seats, Fiat 500c boot space, Fiat 500c side profile, Fiat 500c cornering, 4-star, Fiat 500c. You don't expect much with the entry-level 1.2-liter model developing just 69 bhp doing the talking, and, in this regard, the 500c springs no surprises. Its performance is as modest as its 13.2 seconds 0 to 60 miles per hour time suggests. Away from the test track it's slower still thanks to Fiat's decision to fit courageously high gearing. Despite a top speed of just 99 miles per hour. This is a car that will comfortably reach over 80 miles per hour in just the third of its 5 gears. The more entertaining choice is the 2-cylinder, 875cc twin-air engine. What it lacks in power, 84 bhp arrives at 5,500 revolutions per minute, torque peaks at 106 pounds-foot at 1,900 revolutions per minute. It makes up for with character. The fizzy, raspy engine loves to rev, and despite a lack of pace, 0 to 62 miles per hour takes 11 seconds. It's hard not to give the engine death. It loves to be worked hard. But if you want a tad more power to go with this peppy character, then there is the range-topping 103 bhp version of the twin-air unit. In other cars this paucity of performance might prove irksome, but in the 500c it seems adequate for the car's character. Partly this is down to the engine's enthusiasm and its consequent ability to make you feel you're going faster than you are. But in the main the fact is the 500c has not one sporting bone in its body, and it's easier and more pleasant just to cruise along feeling good about what you're in rather than how fast you're going. Besides, the slower you go the more time there is for people to look at you, and judging from the looks we received, you'd need to be in an orange Murcielago to attract much more attention than when pedaling the 500c with the roof down. No model is so slow that it turns long journeys into hard labor. There's enough pep from the engine to allow the 500's slippery shape to more than stay the pace of typical outside lane traffic, the only annoyance being that gentle gradients can see you reaching for the gear lever to maintain momentum. It's that high gearing again. The gearbox itself is pleasant and offers up at 5 forward ratios without hesitation. Less impressive are the brakes which, while perfectly capable of stopping the car in an emergency, feel rather light and spongy underfoot.